Scarlett Johansson is a little upset with Disney. She's actually suing them over Black Widow. I'm not joking. Black Widow has been a pretty big failure for Disney and Marvel Comics. It's experienced one of the worst box office drops that a Marvel movie has ever received. It's bad. No one's really talking about it anymore. No one really cares about it anymore. Had one of the weirdest marketing campaigns I've seen since Birds of Prey. And it's just not that good. Now, I think the first two parts of the movie are actually pretty good, and then it just turns into a cringe fest in the final act. And it's very obvious it's very obvious what kind of message they were trying to tell with that movie. And audience members just weren't having it. They didn't care. So I firmly believe after that first weekend, all of the Marvel fans went and saw it, didn't care for it, or just thought it was meh. They told their friends that, and that was really it for the movie. Nobody cared. A lot of fingers being pointed about why this movie failed. Piracy being the biggest one, which I think is hilarious. And I've already broken this down in videos before. That, Godzilla vs. Kong also had a day-and-date streaming release. In fact, the streaming was free on HBO Max if you signed up. You didn't have to pay $30 like you did with Disney. Godzilla vs. Kong almost hit $500 million at the box office, and that movie released in less theaters, and there were more restrictions. There was mask mandates. You couldn't fill a theater out. Black Widow pretty much released to full capacity theaters, by the way, with no mandates. As long as you got your poke, you're allowed to go see the movie without a mask. So the idea of blaming these things for this movie's failure, I don't buy it. I'll never buy it. I think it was the word of the mouth and the marketing campaign that hurt this movie. I really do. That's just my opinion. You're free to have yours. However, Scarlett Johansson, not too happy. In fact, she's suing Disney over Black Widow's streaming release.
What a story, Mark.
She's seriously suing Disney, which I think is funny. So I guess this pretty much makes it official, even though it was already official that she will not be back. This is probably going to damage her in Hollywood too, by the way, because who's going to hire somebody that will sue their employer like this? Maybe she just doesn't care. But she's going for it. Scarlett Johansson is suing the Walt Disney Company for releasing Black Widow on streaming and in theaters at the same time. Let's go over what they're saying here. It's not very long. Scarlett Johansson is suing Walt Disney. The Marvel star filed a lawsuit Thursday in Los Angeles Superior Court alleging her contract was breached when the company released Black Widow on its streaming service, Disney Plus, at the same time it debuted in theaters. Johansson claims her agreement with Disney's Marvel Entertainment guaranteed an exclusive theatrical release for her solo film, and her salary was based in large part on the box office performance. Oh, now that's very interesting. So does that include, that probably does not include money made on the Disney Plus release, but Disney released that first weekend. By the way, they never talked about any other weekends. So we know, according to them, that Black Widow made $60 million through Disney Plus on its first weekend. They never talked about it again, by the way, leading me and several other people to believe that the movie didn't make shit after that first weekend on Disney Plus. After that, no one bought it. That's my suspicion, and now the movie has just been a huge disaster for them. So here's the interesting thing, and I don't know because I'm not a lawyer and I don't know legal stuff, but because Disney released that box office number, I wonder if she can sue them, and saying, hey, this was included in the box office, or if Disney can say, oh, okay, well, this was part of the box office, we'll see this. Now, I'm imagining that they're not going to want to pay her what they made on Disney Plus, because that's technically not the box office, but yet they kind of made it the box office when they released those numbers. So I don't know. I think there's an interesting question there as far as like legal and what people are owed and so on and so on. Similar to like what Dave Chappelle was going through with the Chappelle Show. Like he didn't get any money from the streaming service. So I think there's some interesting questions there for some legal channels to go over. But anyway, the Wall Street Journal was the first to report the news. It's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow directly onto Disney Plus to increase subscribers and thereby boost the company's stock price, and that it's hiding behind the coup as a pretext to do so, said John Berlinski, an attorney who's apparently representing Johansson, told CNBC. But ignoring the contracts of the artists responsible for the success of its films in furtherance of this short-sighted strategy violates their rights, and we look forward to proving as much in court, he said via email. This will surely not be the last case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney and makes it clear that whatever the company may pretend, it has a legal obligation to honor its contracts. Disney has not returned comment. So that's it. That's the gist of it. I think that's interesting stuff for sure. People aren't getting paid when it comes to the streaming service, but that will change. This has been something that people have been going on about for a while, but I just find it funny. So she probably didn't make shit over this. I didn't know that her salary was largely based on box office performance for this movie. And as you know, this movie did terrible in the box office. It did not do very well. I don't even think it got a release in China. So Scarlett Johansson standing up to the mouse, guaranteeing that she'll never work for them again. That's for sure. But maybe she doesn't care. I actually I'm rooting for her on this. I'm with her on this side. F Disney. I hope she gets her money. Disney is a snaky, shady corporation. And, you might not like her and you might not like the things that she said, but I don't think that she's in the wrong here. And I hope she gets her money. I do. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell and all of that good, beautiful stuff. And I will see all of you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.